What are we talking about?
Well, since this is our first episode of the podcast and we're kind of want to get, people to understand where we're at and how we know each other and all that, I thought maybe we could do this episode on friendships.
Oh, cool.
So talking about friendships, there's a lot of different kinds of friendships. There's the friendships that are lifers, which you and I are lifers, and then there's the trial friends, and then you've got the friendships that were good at for a moment, and then they turn it into what I would call maybe enemies or dislikes or however you want to put that.
So-called friends. Is that what
So-called
you're
friends,
talking
right?
about?
Yeah, they're not actually friends because So I think that let's start out with lifers because that's what you and I are. Lifers, what I say is lifers. It doesn't matter what part of your life that you meet, because you and I were older when we met each other. Not as old as we are now, but we've been friends for over 20 years. So I think we know each other pretty well. So what makes a friendship a lifer friendship? I would say it's until you expire. Your life expires, whether it's your life or my life. It's till
I
it
think
expires.
that's coming pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's sometimes
I'm on my way.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. Could be
Yeah.
today. Could be next year.
Right. And most people are going to be curious. Well, where did you guys meet? Well, we had a mutual friend
We did.
that we
Owned a
met through.
bar.
Yep, that owned a bar, and that's where we met.
That's what we did.
Yep, that's what we did back then, and so what makes a friendship that's lifelong? And you've seen me, and I've seen you at our best. We've seen ourselves at our worst, and this most stupid. And when some of those things we were both stupid at the same time, or both dumbasses at the same time. We don't different situations, but what I like to think of, I don't know how you would say that a life friendship is, but most of it you've got to have some kind of bonding. And I would say ours is trauma bonding. It's unconditional love and it's trauma bonding, different situations we've had in our life. And as we go through this podcast, you guys will learn a lot of those trauma bonding moments.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had a few.
And, what makes it unconditional love is just our mutual respect for each other. And believe it or not, even though we're different ages in our lives, we do have a lot in common. And then there's some things that we don't have in common that we find a attraction to each other. But
What don't we have in common?
well, you're a much better fisherman or fisher lady than I. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing it, but
You catch little fish.
yeah.
Little fish.
Yeah.
Little.
We went on a fishing trip, and my friend Ann has always been good to me, and she's just a good person in general. But for
Don't
whatever
tell
reason,
people that.
trauma bonding, she has always been good to me. And we went on this little fishing trip, nothing elaborate, just out her favorite spot, which is Fish Lake.
Rush.
Rush Lake, I'm sorry. Fish Lake is where there is no fish. We went fishing there
Yeah.
too.
We did. We did not catch one fish.
No, I think that was like the deepest, smallest lake I've ever seen in my life.
and I don't even think we had any bites.
I don't think so either. And it's surprising for you. Like, again,
Yeah, right.
because we went to Rush Lake, which Ann goes,
I've
once,
gone
twice
since
a
I
year.
was a kid.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's been going there since she was a kid, way before, I knew her. But so we go out there and we're in a boat and she's catching fish, and I've got my pole in there and I'm looking and got the sad face, and it's, it's October, it's cold out, and the way, there's a little bit of waves out there, and but
Jamie had to sit on a little stool in the middle of the boat.
yeah, there wasn't enough spots, but we had a stool there, and
I know she had a good time.
oh yeah. But, Ann's just reeling them in like nobody's business. And I can't, and she goes, you know what? And I'm sitting there looking all depressed and sad. And she's like, you know what? I'm catching them over here. Let's switch spots. So we switch spots and I throw my line back in thinking, all right, I got the hot spot. It's not because I suck. It's because Ann has the great spot and I don't. But now I've got the great spot. So I throw my line in there and sure enough, I start getting a little tug and Ann looks at me and she's like, you got something, buddy. And So I'm reeling and everybody's excited because, I'm finally going to catch a fish. So I pull this fish in, and I'm not even sure, Ann, if I even caught it in the hook, but the line was wrapped around it. That sucker was maybe, what do you think, 3 inches long?
About 3.
3 inches long. And I think we had bait in the boat that was bigger than the fish I caught.
Yeah. We had longer worms.
Yeah, longer worms in the boat than my fish. But we do have a picture of it. We did get a picture
Do
of
you
my big.
still have it?
I still got the
See,
picture.
I don't have a picture of it. I
Yeah,
don't think.
I'll have to get you a copy.
You'll have to send it to me.
But yeah,
That sounds like what my grandma used to. I'd go fishing with my grandma, and she'd be reeling in these big 9, 10, 11-inch bluegills, and I'd be sitting there. We had our old cane poles, and the straw hats on way back in the day. That's been a long time ago. But she'd go, throw over here, and I'd throw over there, and we'd catch nothing. Not a darn thing.
Well, that was me that day, but
Yeah, it was you that day.
but this is the kind of friendship that Ann and I have, and
Yeah,
she
like-
gives me her hot spot, and I don't really do much with it, but she tries to help me out.
Well, I had a good time finding that hot spot on Simonton Lake there, didn't I?
Oh,
When we went with Jerry.
oh yeah, for sure. We ended up in a waist high muck trying to get the boat out of. I think I lost a shoe.
Yeah, I went one way, and because it splits at the landing,
Right.
and I went the wrong way, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, the boat was
Yeah.
not going to go anywhere by
It
itself.
did not go anywhere. We had to jump out and
Af-
push.
After we took a moment looking at each other, thinking that one of us was going to get to stay in the boat. Yeah, we all three ended up in the muck. And but you know what? It was a memory. It was a good time,
It was fun.
and it was fun.
And I still don't think we caught any fish.
We didn't catch one fish
We
that
did
day,
not.
but it was definitely an adventure.
It was an adventure.
But so anyway, that's those are adventures, and those are things that life friendships. They're forged in peer pressure and guilt and bad decisions, and
We haven't made too many bad decisions.
no, I don't think so. Most of them were beyond our control. But, I think
Exactly.
that that's what I call a lifer, and Anna are definitely lifetime friends. But then you get these trial friends. We both had trial friends through our life, and those friendships. It's kind of like trying them out. They try you out, you try them out, and then you find out. Yeah,
They suck.
They this. They don't have any skin in the game. You guys didn't have any trauma together. You didn't. I mean, the fun goes and sizzles soon.
Yeah.
You don't click.
Or they blame you for something that you didn't do, and
Yeah,
that kind of friend that you thought you had.
yeah, exactly. Do you have an example of like?
I do. I had a girlfriend and a friend,
Right,
high school. Yeah,
right.
yeah. She wrote me a Dear John letter. Like the first semester I went to college. Yeah. She basically accused me of trying to steal her boyfriend. That was a joke. But
Little did she know.
little did she know. He was the one that, made the moves on me, but
Right,
little did she know that I wasn't interested in him in any way.
right. You'd been closer to be interested in her than you would.
Yeah. She was the kind of friend, well, I don't know if you remember the movie Brian Song. Do you remember that?
That one's not.
It's
That's
about
not,
Gail Sayers and a friend of his. I
Yeah,
can't
it might have been
remember.
before my time,
Yeah,
Ann.
it probably was. It was like 1970.
Yeah,
Would that 71 maybe?
yeah. I'd have been a year old there, Ann. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I was probably still sucking my thumb, Ann.
yeah, but anyway, it's about two friends, and one gets cancer and dies. She called me that night, bawling her eyes out.
Kind of like the Beaches of today, or
Yeah.
the movie Beaches, or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. To
I gotcha.
compare it to, yeah. Then she calls me, accusing me of stealing her boyfriend because that's what he told her. So,
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
had to cover his tracks.
so that wasn't a very good friend.
No,
Yeah, that wasn't a lifer.
yeah, that's like I said. Those are they're friendships that come and
icky.
go, and they don't last long. And you
They're
guys
good
just
while
realize,
they last, and then they're not.
Yeah, they're temporary, and they might have served some kind of purpose. Maybe it showed you where a good restaurant is, or
We
or
didn't go to restaurants then. I don't know they even had any.
that. Yeah, I know. But in every relationship, there's always a lesson to be learned, whether it's
Definitely.
on their end or your end. So those are temporary. But then the ones that really get your goat are the ones that turn into enemies.
Hmm.
And
Do you have those?
do I have some of that?
I don't know that I do.
Yeah, you don't have any enemies. I think that you might not think that you're.
Do I have an enemy?
Maybe you have an enemy,
I
Ann.
don't know that I do.
But that, and I'm sure you do if you think about it, Ann. It's some people that maybe you hung out with them for a little while, but all they did was trash your name, talk dirt about you, or and say Ann is just too nice.
That's
and
their
she gives,
loss.
right? It's their loss, and I can't give names, but I've had a few of those people in my life, or you have friends that then when they run their course, then of course they've got to have a reason to turn their back on you, because as well as I do, Ann, and any kind of relationship, or even our friendship that we've had, that there's times that we talk to each other on a daily basis, and then there might be 2-3 months before
Exactly.
we had a conversation.
That's happened, yeah.
But when we do, we pick up right where we started from.
We do. Yep.
And we've both raised families and have spouses and grandchildren, and lots of different things have happened in our lives. And you guys will learn that as the podcast goes on. But these people, that we've had that, I would say comes to my mind, is a particular situation where I had worked with somebody, and we were good. What I thought we were really good friends,
Right.
And matter of fact, my spouse didn't like them from the beginning, but again, it's kind of like your parents telling you, that's a bad character, and you're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know them better than you do. But anyway, this particular person, I thought they got the shaft where we were working together.
Okay.
And they actually left that place because they got demoted because of people were, her attitude and different things were going on, and I felt like it wasn't fair because I knew more of what was going on and what she didn't tell them everything. So, I went and I blabbed my mouth. I think it's pretty sucky. You got people that are, doing bad things to her and sending her text messages.
You went to the boss and did that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the boss, and and they're like,
Trying
well,
to be nice.
yeah, I mean, I don't like to see people get the raw end of the deal, and
Right.
especially I consider this person to be a friend of mine,
Right.
and
I never stuck up for my friends.
yeah, you should stand up and do
I
the right
should.
thing, and I do. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, because you guys will all learn I'm not. You guys will all learn.
You
I'm
probably
not.
already have.
But, I try to have somewhat of some decent character. But anyway, this person, I stood up for him, and they actually even called her and said, hey, we didn't know all this was going on. And, Lisa came forward, and I apologized to her. I said, listen, I didn't mean to tell your business, but I just thought it was unfair
Right.
the way you were treated. And,
Right.
and she wasn't mad about it. She was like, well, I was just wondering why they called me. And all of a sudden this came about again. And I said, well, I just wanted them to know the truth, because, you leave someplace, they write in this little file like they know you,
Right.
and if
Right.
you don't know the whole thing, or whatever. So needless to say, that happened. And she had actually got me talked to her boss, where she would currently started working, and said, hey, you have a spot open. I know somebody would come and work for you. And I went in and talked to them. He goes, yeah, come in and start. I interviewed, everything clicked, and I started working over there. Well, it turned around a couple months later. Actually, I'd say probably 6 months later, she ended up getting a promotion, because
I think I know who you're talking
I
about.
think you do, because she
Yeah,
was going to
think you
quit,
do.
and they're like, well, how would you like to try out this spot? Well, that put her in a position where she was actually over me.
Okay. Yeah.
So she ended up being over me, which I was not. I was surprised, because she had never done this before or whatever. But I wasn't worried about it. I'm like, cool, we get along, we've worked together, no big deal. Well, it ended up I was having some issues with some workers at the building I was in, and instead of her, saying, "Hey, this isn't right," and
Sticking up for you like you stuck up for her.
yeah,
Right.
she ended up actually doing the opposite, and actually I ended up getting
Kick her ass.
reprimanded for it. What's
You
that?
did?
Yeah,
You
I
didn't
got.
kick her ass?
Oh no, I did not. I did not kick her ass. I ended
You
up
probably should have kicked her ass.
and yeah, she she actually her personal issues, I helped her with some of her personal issues and some other things, but I just feel like she gave me the raw end of the deal, and to me that's not what you do to friends.
Oh, exactly.
You
No,
know,
you don't.
I
You just kicked her ass.
yeah, you know what I mean, when you're there for somebody.
I'm not
you
trying to make fun of you.
No,
but
no.
I
You
get it.
And if I was younger, Ann, I probably would have kicked her ass. But I was older, and I was trying to be a little bit more mature
Well, you
about
could
it.
give her a knuckle sandwich or something.
That's your thing.
That's my
Knuckle sandwich with some jelly on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up being enemies.
That's too bad.
Yeah, and it was too
That
bad
is too
because,
bad.
like I said, I do. Even though she's her and I are not friends anymore. It did hurt. It does hurt your heart
Sure
when
it
you
does.
care about somebody, and unfortunately, I'd say the biggest lesson of everything, and the part that really hurts me the most, and I would actually feel like crying about is my wife was right.
Oh, yeah.
That's the part that
Yeah,
makes
we
me
hate to admit that when
You
that
know, that
happens.
makes you
for
wanna-
sure.
makes you want to tear up,
Yeah.
when they're right. But so
Like she could see the real person that you didn't see.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and that's the thing is I think you get more mad at yourself. Me, I was more mad at myself because and here's with any relationship, you can't expect people to be the same as you. You trust them, you open up to them, and you feel like you know what, this is going to be another lifer,
Right.
And unfortunately, she was not a lifer. And
Well, I
so,
think there for a while I didn't know what the difference was. I thought everybody I met was a lifer.
and
guess,
and I believe
yeah.
that about you.
I-
I-
Yeah.
And what's funny about my wife being right and everything is I'm usually the one that scrutinizes people more. I'm the
don't.
one that's my eyes are open and I'm like, yeah, I'm not real trusting. So when I trust somebody and they screw me over, it's worse. And then I just got to sit back and wait for karma to show up. And unfortunately, that could sometimes take longer than we want.
Well, right. But it always happens.
Yeah,
I think I'm the kind of person that, I let people walk all over me most of my life. And actually I was described as Ann's the kind of person that if you kick her dog, she'll thank you for it.
right. No, yeah, I can see that.
And I think I was,
yeah,
not anymore.
no, I think even
I got bigger than a knuckle sandwich. I think I got a sub.
You're not getting the knuckle.
You're not getting a knuckle.
sub.
You're getting a sub now.
And I've noticed over the years that I've known you, Ann, you've gotten a little bit tougher. I mean, and I know some of the situations that life can hand you, and I've seen some of the trials and tribulations that I've seen you and your family go through. So I get it. And you've gotten tougher. Instead of the soft little pork rind, you're more of that gristly, hard
Oh, yeah.
crackling.
I don't give
you're
a shit
crackling, Ann.
anymore.
You're no longer. You're no longer that. You're the crackling.
I don't give a shit anymore.
You're giving shit.
You harden up when you get older.
You do.
And Stephanie helped me with that.
Yeah,
She
harden you up
she hardened me up
in good ways and
because
bad.
she lets people know she doesn't
No, she doesn't. She doesn't
pull any
split.
punches.
And and my wife's the same way. She doesn't split any hairs. And even with me, I mean, they're just they speak their mind and they have no filter.
If we're a dumbass, they tell us we're a dumbass.
We're just more afraid to call them out on the carpet than they
Exactly,
they will call us out.
because they would hurt us
in many, many ways.
many ways.
And talking about, angry friendships, it does remind me of my marriage. Just, I love my wife. Let me just put that out there. But you
Me too.
learning to coexist with an
Not your wife.
right.
Yeah, okay.
I get what you're saying.
Just, we're lifelong
that
friends.
would be a different podcast. But learning to coexist with another person is challenging.
Sucks.
It does. I mean, they have their little quirks, and people say, it's 50-50, but it's not always that way.
Not really.
No. Then unhappy wife means that you will,
you won't be happy.
you won't be, you won't be happy. You won't.
Life will suck. And yeah.
Yeah, and you better make sure you don't make the same decisions that make them unhappy over and over again, because that will
That might be where I've gone wrong.
just hard habits, right?
Hard habits
you
to
know, and
break.
if you think of when it comes to house chores, her and I work it out pretty good. We don't really fight about although I'm not allowed, and I'm going to put that on here, and you can take this to the bank. I am not allowed to touch the laundry. I can maybe put it in the dryer, return the dryer on.
You're lucky.
But
I hate laundry.
well, folding it,
I don't like
it's
it.
a waste of time, because she will unfold it and she will refold it.
That's the way my mom used to be. Towels had to be a certain way. Underwear had to be a certain way.
Yeah,
My mom used to have to spray clothes to iron them. Did your mom do that?
Yeah, Jamie does that.
Spray
Yeah,
spray them
she's-
with water. She'd roll them up, stick them in a basket, and then when she had time, she'd get the ironing board and the iron out, and she'd stand there. I wouldn't do that on a bet.
Yeah, I'm
What
not
the
much.
hell?
I'm not much of. I've got better things to do, like
I'm-
watch a ball game, or
Notre Dame might be on, or
Yeah, and if
even
they're-
Rice and whatever the name of that team was out there.
the no-name teams.
It's no-name teams that don't know who the hell they are playing.
They
in a
don't even
ball
know who they're
game.
playing.
They don't either. Yeah, they don't even know football.
But I'd rather do that than fold laundry. But
Yeah.
regardless, I would put the effort in, but she would not appreciate it because she does not want me to touch it. So
Well.
I don't. But
I wish my wife was like that.
but then when it comes to food or driving or where to set a lamp, let's just say I know my place, because that is a battle I will not win. Like her and I will not see eye to eye on those things.
No,
No.
really.
Yeah. Chores, we don't really, there's not she asked me to do something or I do it on my own. There's, like I said, other than laundry, we get it done. But other things, yeah, there's going to be a fight to the death.
Really?
Like literally. And when I
Seriously.
get brave enough, sometimes I do get brave, Ann, believe it or not.
And move a lamp.
Yeah, I'll move a lamp or
Yeah, out of your
or
mind.
make a decision and look out.
So what
you
are
know.
you supposed to do? Not make a decision and just
Deal with the consequences. Yeah,
consequences, I
sometimes it's
see.
better to ask for forgiveness than permission,
Oh.
and it depends on if I'm brave. And sometimes she'll let things go, and she'll be like, "Yeah, I'll deal with it," but yeah, not all the time. And food choices. Oh my God, let's talk about food choices.
where do you want to eat tonight? I don't care.
And then when you pick something, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't really feel
And then
like
okay,
that.
so you pick something else, and I don't want that either. And then they look at you like you're deliberately trying to
Make 'em mad.
make a man. And like,
Mhm.
we know our wives, and
Yeah.
if you knew them, like I said, you're going to learn about them as we talk. But you don't intentionally make these women mad. You try to, find something, and like when they're just subtle. I don't care. I guess,
Just make a decision. Okay. As long as it's not McDonald's, because, yeah, that causes other problems.
yeah, and you can't be tenderhearted with these two women, So
You can't take shit personal, that's for sure.
yeah, and McDonald's. You're right.
Yes.
We all know you
Yes.
don't pick McDonald's.
Don't pick McDonald's and buy $15 socks.
Yeah, and you know what? As much
But
as
the
you-
fries were hot.
the fries were hot that time.
Yeah.
I did get the Grinch meal, and the fries.
Well, you were lucky because every time I went, they never had them. So you
the,
were
the
lucky.
socks or the Grinch meals,
Either.
and that doesn't. And it's all the same. I don't care what McDonald's you want.
No.
And one of the things that, speaking of McDonald's, that made my wife mad is she's not a big, I'm a big coffee drinker. Like
Yeah,
I drink
you
coffee
are.
every single day.
Absolutely.
And she drinks coffee sometimes. Usually it consists of either taking a drink of mine, but if I take her to Big B or actually
Oh.
McDonald's used to have her favorite, which was a caramel mocha hot coffee.
Oh,
Okay. And well, every time you'd go there,
don't have it.
they
anymore.
don't have it. And it's
My
literally,
wife's the same way with shakes.
yeah,
That would make her so mad when they didn't, and they don't even have them anymore. I don't think. Coming soon, I think the sign says. But anyway, go ahead.
no, and so yeah, McDonald's. But I did get hot fries with the Grinch meal. Thank you, McDonald's. It's probably one of the rarest times that I actually got hot food there.
Yeah, that's
And you will hear us speaking about restaurants as we go through because we are gonna, we do want you to know what's good and what's not around here and in our area that we live in.
and we just
in
went
Indiana.
to a place called what was it in Bristol?
Oh, Evans.
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 They had good fish.
Yeah, it's a
Good fish.
It's a little hole in the wall, nothing fancy. It's been there for years. Family owned for a couple of generations that I know of. And on Fridays, they have fresh fried fish.
Very
And-
good.
And it's very good. It's
Mhm.
reasonable price. You get fresh cut French fries with it, that's rare to find anymore. And some
Not crispy though.
they weren't.
I liked crispy.
Yeah, they weren't.
I
you're
like
right.
crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. But
Yeah,
these
so
are
maybe you
not.
should have got the crinkle fries.
I might have. Yeah, I should have.
You probably should have got the
Yeah.
crinkle fries. But yeah, Bristol, Indiana. If you're ever in the area
try them.
on Friday, try Evans Fish.
Yep.
It like I said, it's a little hole in the wall, and it's reasonably priced. And the only other problem that I can tell you about Evans is they're only open till 2 p.m. So they are a breakfast
Breakfast, lunch.
and lunch, and that's it.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday. Now holidays, I'm sure they're not open on the holidays.
Hell, I didn't even think they were open.
Yeah, you
I'm
did-
such a dork.
and well, it's a new place for you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But no, it was really good food.
It was.
And like I said, it was reasonably priced. So try it out. Other than that, don't go to McDonald's unless you have to. My wife has a name for McDonald's because sometimes I do, like to get a fish sandwich from them. I try to ask for it freshly made because from my understanding that they make them and they let them sit there for a minute. So
Oh
I try
yeah, they do.
so I try to
They
ask
get a
for
limp fry from McDonald's. It's been there for a while.
Right. But my wife has a name for McDonald's, and she calls it a bag of regrets. And
Oh, that's a good name.
yeah,
Very good.
That is what she calls it, whether it's because of the service or the food quality
And the
or-
prices, my good Lord.
right. And I mean, and I don't know about you, but I don't mind. I mean, not
What
that I
happened
like.
to the 39-cent hamburger? That's
Yeah.
all they're worth.
Right. I mean, really, if you can,
Seriously.
the hamburger patty's so small that it's almost like I don't know, maybe printed off one of those little printers.
And
or
they're
something.
never hot.
No, the food always tastes like it's been sitting there.
It does.
But I don't know about you, but I don't mind paying, for a little bit more for a meal if it's good.
Yeah.
Like if the food is good, and the service is decent, I have to pay a little bit more. I'm all about it.
I
But when
don't
I've got to
mind.
pay $15 for a Big Mac meal and
To get a pair of socks.
to get a pair of Grinch socks, and the burger is cold. It's kind of pisses you off.
Well,
I mean,
it kind of pisses you off when you go and they don't have CO2 for drinks, and then she tells you, we just don't have time to change it.
yeah, that's. I mean,
That's McDonald's.
yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, McDonald's has always been a fast food restaurant. But when I don't remember when I was a kid, they get that
Wasn't
kind of service.
fast.
And was, and they've always had kids working for. Well, that's one of the best things about McDonald's is a lot of kids. That's their first job.
First job.
As they start working in a fast food restaurant. But so I don't really want to blame the kids because it's, management's
Exactly.
responsibility to train them properly. And I guarantee it's the management that's telling them how long to leave the burger set up
Well,
there.
yeah. Well, you don't always follow those rules.
Yeah.
I worked in Pizza Hut wasn't fast food, but
Right.
I worked there a long time.
Yeah. You were actually a pretty big up in the chain, weren't you, for a management?
Area manager.
Yeah.
Area manager, yeah.
Well, that's more than just a store manager, obviously.
Yeah, I started as a waitress.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
And this is coming from, that high education that you got from Ball State,
Oh,
right?
yeah, high education.
Not to belittle Ann at all, because Ann does have she has a degree in
I
criminal
do.
justice.
I do.
Yeah. So just so we know that we're not talking to somebody that does not
I
have
can pull the diploma out if you don't believe it. But you
and-
don't want to see the transcripts.
Yeah, right. And you don't want to see the date on it. But
I had a lot. Let me put it this way: I had a lot of fun in college.
well, in
More than I should have.
yeah, that's probably where she got the nickname Little Mug.
Yeah. No, that was after, but it could have.
Kind of ran together.
It was Little Kings. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, I love those little beer.
That was what. They
That was
what my nickname was in college. Yeah,
Well,
Little Kings.
it's funny that you mentioned that because there was one night I was at my folks' house and we were playing cards, euchre. My parents loved to play euchre, and I had brought some Little Kings over there.
Oh, those are
And
good.
I think it might have been New Year's Eve actually, because my parents were not big drinkers, but they occasionally like margaritas and maybe whatever.
Mhm.
And my dad was really not a big drinker, especially in his later years. He was in his younger years, but so we're sitting there and we're playing cards, and they ran out of margarita mix, and so my dad, I'm there with my ex-husband Scott, which
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and
Great guy.
Yep, great guy. And my dad dances to the refrigerator and sees that there's no margarita mix, and he grabs a couple of those Little Kings, and he looks at Scott. He goes, "Here, Scott, have one of these little baby beers with your father-in-law." And so obviously my parents, we spent the night that night because we'd all been drinking and try to be safe, and that's the right thing to do. But the next morning, my dad was. That's the first time I ever seen him hungover.
Oh God.
Because these little baby beers, if anybody knows them, their alcohol content was pretty high actually for a small
7%, I think, is what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drank a lot of those.
Me too. But yeah, so I'm very familiar
Out
with
of
Little
the
Kings
keg, too.
Yeah, very, very familiar with those.
I out-chugged a fraternity brother on Little Kings.
And it's funny as you guys get to know Ann, you're gonna and you hear these stories, you're gonna look at her and you're just gonna be like, I just don't see
Can't
it.
believe it. That little old lady sitting there with the gray hair and the ucky teeth. And You
Yeah.
would never believe the stories. Oh, and the
Chug,
pictures
chug,
I could
chug.
show you. Chug, chug, chug.
So
Yeah. That's a different life.
right, absolutely, and lots of adventures that we're going to be talking about here on our podcast here on the Soapbox, and some of the things that you guys are all going to be, agree with and relate to, and
Think we're stupid.
and
But, that's okay.
that's all right. It's opinionated, and then there's going to be times that you're going to, look at us and you're going to think that I understand that, and other times you're not. And sometimes you're not going to agree with us, and sometimes you're not. And
And
that's
guess
what it's
what? We
about.
don't care.
And we don't care.
We don't.
And you're going to find out that some things about us that especially about our President Trump. Well, not our President Trump. Some people's President Trump.
That's not my president.
Yeah, but just so you know, no matter what we agree with or we disagree with, or same thing with, vice versa, it has nothing to do with anybody personally. These are our opinions. We don't want to exclude anybody from listening to our podcast. We don't want to exclude anybody from their opinions. Bring it on.
Bring it
Because
on.
like Ann said, we really don't care. We're not shy. We're not going to turn our heads to adversity. We are Ann's older than me, obviously, but
Excuse me.
just by a couple of 20 years. I
Couple
don't know.
days.
But we
20 years.
but
Close.
But we are going to talk about
Try to entertain you
and entertain ourselves.
and entertain ourselves mostly.
And we do want you to
Enjoy.
and
Give us ideas.
yeah, and call in.
Say what you
and,
think,
and
even
email
though we
us.
may not care.
You know, our age span. Let's see, Ann,
17 years.
17 years, and we both, even though there is a span of 17 years, some of the things that we agree on, and some things that there is a generation difference. She's a boomer, and I am a number one Gen X. So all my Gen X fans out there, please make sure you're included in that.
Boomers, you can do that with me too if you're still alive.
This is why I love Ann. And we do want, we want you guys to tune in. We want you to, hopefully, even if you don't agree with us, interact with us. This is what this podcast is about. Podcast is going to not candy coat. We're not afraid to talk about things. We're not afraid for adversity, or
You're not going to hurt our feelings
leave
because
it.
we don't have any anymore.
We don't, and there's things about us you're going to relate to, and there's things that you're not. And we both have raised
True.
families, and we so we know about children, we know about grandchildren, we know
do.
about marriage,
We know about dogs.
we know about
We know-
pets.
We know about Piranha.
And we
We know,
we
yeah.
have a pet piranha. It is our mascot.
His name is Donald.
And and
Don when I'm mad at him.
yes,
No, Donald when I'm mad at him.
right, Don, but Donald
Donald.
when you're mad at him.
Yeah.
And
I think he's even got some yellow or orange on him. So
does he like the hair?
yeah.
Yeah. So please, like I said, please give us a chance. You may have to listen to a few podcasts. We're starting off. Hopefully we'll get better.
Hopefully.
And email us. We have an email. What's our email? We're gonna get
We
the
don't
email.
know.
Yeah, we're gonna get the email for you. And
That's our technical advisor.
yeah, the
She
technical
She
advisor will
hasn't
have to get
informed
that.
us. Or and if she did, we don't remember. So
And
or
that
I don't.
happens.
And
And
that's
that
going to happen a
happens.
lot.
But thank you for tuning in to our first podcast. And we hope we see you for the next podcast here at the Soapbox. And this is Lisa
And Ian.
signing off on the Soapbox.
37 minutes. We did good.
Yeah.
Almost